Everybody, we are back. It is Tape the Lodge Favorites, Podcast Favorites, Channel Favorites, everything. We are back. You guys already know what to do. Hit the subscribe button, subscribe. Hit the like button if you like it. Hit dislike button if you don't like it. Leave a comment if you like it. Leave a comment if you don't like it. Also follow us on Twitter at the Mark John NFL for me, at mholder95 for Matt, and of course, pandasups.com, discount code TDL for 35% off. All right. So Raiders lost again. This time in heartbreaking fashion, 19-17. Definitely a game that they probably could have won if they missed a lot of field goals. They just really just keep shooting itself in the foot. Coaching decisions, all types of things kind of just popped up in this game to really show, that this. I mean, it's not a good football team, and just losing in that way with the bad snap at the end of the game just proves it. They're just not. It's not a good football team at this point. So, yeah. So the Raiders are 2-10, but I mean, there was some good performances on offense. But what were your thoughts, Matt?
I mean, I think you hit the nail on the head. Bad teams find ways to lose games, and that's what the Raiders are at the end of the day. I mean, 9 points left on the board with missed field goals. Hold on 1 second.
Okay.
Hold on 1 second, dude.
Oh, yeah, having dog problems. But here we go. Let me see. We got some questions here. Wow, we got this little technical difficulty here. Any questions here? Yeah, I mean, Aidan O'Connell had a good game. I thought they had a, kind of showed that maybe he should have been a quarterback for most of the season. I mean, kind of something that I've been saying a little bit, but I think what Scott Turner does too was really helping him. Scott Turner gave him a lot of easy looks, did a lot of play action. The running game was actually working. I think that was a big thing. I thought they were pretty creative in the run game too, from what I saw. But yeah, it was a pretty good performance overall. So, Matt, are you back, man? You good?
Yeah, I think I'm back. You got me up there. Sorry, technical difficulties and
you freeze it up a little bit. You're good. Go ahead.
Bad on the delivery. But I mean, I think going back to what I was saying before, like you said originally, bad teams they're just a bad team. The bad teams find a way to lose the game. Leaving 9 points on the board, and with it's a quick ending to fumble the snap, and I think Vinny tweeted out too. This would have been the first Raiders game without a turnover until what was basically the last play of the game, and I mean, just to basically ruin I think you were diving into it when I jumped in there, just to ruin and actually a decent performance or a good performance for Aidan O'Connell. And yeah, I mean, I guess this is what you want though. If your team would think about, so
yeah. You still bring it up a little bit.
Still bringing it up.
Yeah, a little bit. You're right. But yeah, I mean, I would say, to me, in my opinion, I think the offense, I mean, when you could look at the yardage and just how much, like you look at yards per play and stuff, like it's probably one of the best performance that they've had. I mean, pretty much for the season. I mean, you really can't have them play better than that. I mean, like Connell had 340 yards passing, a 9.7 YPA, had a passer rating of, looks like it was I can't. You won't let me scroll over, but like 116 or something like that. And then, Sir McCormick looked really good. He had 12 carries for 64 yards, 5.3 yards per carry. So it was just, the offense really couldn't play any better than that. I think they might have like over 400 total yards. I mean, there's nothing else you could really do with that. You know what I mean?
Connection is terrible. Sorry, I caught like every other word you're saying. Sorry.
You guys hear me? Sorry about this, guys. Because I think they can hear me. I think it looks like
it's me. It's me. It's my computer. I need a new one. That's basically what it is.
Yeah, man. It's all right, bro. It's all right. What else you got here? So yeah, they can hear me, Matt, but like it looks like it's just having some issues
on my end. Yeah, that's what I figured.
Yeah. All right, we're getting a little better though. Just give your computer time to warm up a little bit, and then yeah. But yeah, so I thought they had a good performance. I mean, they ended up having like 5 sacks too. You know what I mean? Like they I don't know. It just really shows how bad they are as a team. You know what I mean? I mean, it's kind of like they could play as good as they possibly can, but then they do something stupid. They miss 3 field goals. Like, I mean, you can talk about Daniel Carlson all you want, and there are long field goals, whatever. But I feel like that's what we paid Daniel Carlson for, is to make 55-yard field goals. I feel like that's what they pay him, to make 55-yard field goals. Because the first field goal, when I looked at him, and when he kicked it, I was like, oh, that's going in. I looked away, and then I looked back, and then it like hit the ground, and I was like, what the hell is happening? So
Yeah.
it was interesting, man. But yeah, go ahead, Matt.
Yeah, I mean, I think on the field goals, it looked like part of it was being cold. Like the first one, he just like he looked like he hit fat, and then the second one he tried to overdo it, and then ended up pulling it, and then the third one, I mean, it was just the yips at the end of the day.
Yeah, it was just ugly, man. I never seen him kick like that, because that's the thing. Like, we could talk about they were far field goals and they were long field goals, but I mean, I remember the Cowboys game, like what 2021, when the Raiders made the playoffs. With the Cowboys game, and he made like 3 from 55. You know what I mean? That's what you expect from Daniel Carlson, is to be able to make those kicks. I mean, that's why they they brought him in here, was to make those kicks. So it was super interesting to see him miss all those damn field goals. And that was a big part of the game. And like I said, like the first field goal, I literally, once he kicked it, the ball was in the air, and I saw it in the middle, I literally looked away, because it's Daniel Carlson. I expected him to make that, and he ended up just being short on it. So it was just ugly, man. It was just ugly from the kicking game, because I thought the offense really did look pretty good today. I mean, we could talk about tanking all we want, but if the offense plays like that for the rest of the year, then the Raiders are going to steal a game. I mean, they look pretty good today. Like, just even moving the football. I mean, they moved the football like every single drive. It wasn't a lot of 3-and-outs. They were able to run the ball really well. Like I said, Sincere McCormick looked awesome out there. He looks really good. Definitely, the way even Amir Abdullah played, I thought Amir Abdullah had some good runs in there too. That the offensive line played pretty well overall. It was just, when the offense plays like that, and then the defense plays like that, it's just a little bit of a struggle there. So yeah. All right, man. I think hopefully we're better this time a little bit.
Sorry, I'm still.
You still breaking up?
Yeah, still breaking up.
Man, you might just have to go phone, man. It is an instant reaction. We'll be all right. You could just
Hear that?
Yeah. But yeah, so I mean, that was a lot about the offense. I thought the offense kind of really took a step today, but you just saw it kind of play better. You saw Myers play really well. Brock Bowers is a damn beast. And then on the defensive side of the ball, I mean, they actually played pretty decent on defense too. They got a lot of pressure. They got like the 5 sacks they got in there. But even then, there's a lot of opportunities where Mahomes just missed some throws, but a lot has to do with the pressure they're getting on him. I mean, Chason had a great game today. Chason was just balling, just kind of just taking over everything that was happening with this game. O-line managed the last play, but I mean, you're still exciting with what they did, overall. So, all right, Matt. Yeah, now we should be good.
Now, give me 1 second though. I got to hold on. I'm on my phone.
Good. All right, let me start saving some of these questions here. I'll Matt get set up, guys. Sorry about this. Said fuck the QB propaganda, big STD. Nobody wants to hear about the quarterbacks today. Nobody wants to hear about O'Connell's play. I mean, he threw 340 yards, man. I never. That's got to be a career high, right? It's got to be a career high. National TV threw 300 yards. Does this look like a tank to you? I think this is a bad team. They just, bad teams throw a snap off of somebody's chest. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what bad teams do. They are bad teams, right? I know people. I mean, you can't be trash to throw 340 yards against a pretty good defense. I'm not gonna say people are saying O'Connell's trash. It's just he might ruin the quarterback situation for the Raiders, even though I don't know how high the league is on these quarterbacks, but you'll see. So why did Gardner start over AOC, and why was McCormick on the practice squad all year? That is a good question. I think O'Connell did not have a good preseason, right? O'Connell did not have a good preseason. Are you good now, Matt?
Yeah, I should be good now.
All right, guys. All right, so I was talking about the defense, how they played pretty well today too. You know, what were some of your thoughts on defense today? I thought they played pretty well. I mean, besides, Richardson, he got lucky a lot. I mean, he got lucky in that last play too. He got burned by Whitworthy, but and Mahomes missing some throws. What did you think of the defense?
I mean, I thought the D line played pretty well. I don't know what the final number was for the Chiefs, like running the ball, but I felt like they didn't have really any success other than that one play that Pacheco broke. Uh, Broke off. I think it was in like the third quarter, but I thought the D line for the most part played a pretty damn good game, and then they got a ton of pressure. I think majority of Mahomes' dropbacks were under pressure, and I thought it was pretty good scheme up by Graham. He had a couple nice well-timed blitzes, and they got away with some cover zero a little bit on third down. But yeah, I mean, you touched on it with Richardson. He got lucky on the Worthy play. That should have been a touchdown on that 3rd and 2 where he got burned. D Hop kind of ate him alive, which second big receiver in the last 2 weeks. It's kind of given him some trouble. And then Jack Jones had a tough one too. I mean, as a team, I think they struggled against D Hop. I don't know what he finished with, but
Yeah.
I think at one point he had like 3 catches for 75 yards. And I mean, as to be expected, didn't have much of an answer for Travis Kelce either, who had a pretty good game. But D line, I thought pretty well. I mean, I think we got to talk about Chase on, who got what? He finished 2.5 sacks today.
Yeah.
Something like that. That had a couple nice wins around the edge, made them pull their left tackle and slide Joe Tooney out there. And I mean, Max had a handful of pressures too, and Tyree Wilson got a little gimme sack there too to keep the streak going. 4 in the last 5 games. But yeah, and I mean, again, great game from Chase on, who I feel like at least 2 of his sacks came on 3rd downs too, which is big.
Yeah.
So came up clutch. So good game from the front. Just secondary is a bit of an issue.
Yeah, I saw this here. AP said in the press conference that the plan on the last play was to throw the ball away to kill more clock time. Okay, all right.
Pulling the Kenny Dillingham. Is that what we're going for?
Yes, that's what he's trying to do, the Kenny Dillingham. Yeah, I just I don't know. AP in his game management. I mean, that is what is really going to get him fired at all of this, right?
Yeah.
I think if he had like some decent game management and made some decent, calls there, here and there, like, and the team is playing hard, he might be able a chance to keep his job. But like, it's just a game management altogether. Like, that one issue with like, when Patrick Mahomes, when it was 3rd and 15, and they made it 2nd and 20, and like you're playing Patrick Mahomes, you'd rather have 3rd and 15, maybe something happens, and then
don't give him more chances to pick it up.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, especially when it's going to already be 3rd and long.
Exactly.
The one that's
not that good for you to do that.
The one that killed me at the end of the game there was like when the last missed field goal, where like they threw the punt team out there, which again is going to be AP's call. Then he calls timeout when I'm like, I think if I remember correctly, like they could have just ran it down to the 2-minute warning and saved that timeout, which again, where you have that last hectic little run at the end. I mean, who knows? Maybe the fumble still happens, but when it's a little bit more calm and it would have been nice to have that extra timeout, is I guess what I'm going at after with that last little play at the end. And then obviously he calls timeout to only miss the kick, which, I mean, that summed it up pretty well for me with AP. And we've seen him several times mismanage timeouts and those situations where exactly what you're talking about. Like his game management has just been awful. And I mean, got 8 former head coaches on the sideline with him. I don't know what the hell's going on and how he can't figure it out at this point, because he just doesn't get the excuse of he's a young head coach anymore. He's been at this for over a season and still makes the same mistakes in every single game.
Yeah, it's just it's just annoying at this point. I don't know. It just feels like normal things that should be happening from a normal coach. I mean, it's weird. Things have been weird all year. Like the 5-minute timeout thing has been bothering me for a long time. I never seen that at any level, and that was a big thing for me. He's been doing that all year. And then like giving Mahomes the ball on, I mean, it's 3rd and 15, man. What's the difference between 2nd and 20 and 3rd and 15? It really isn't that much of a difference. I thought that was a big turning point in the game because they got that big play and they scored on that drive and made a field goal, right? And that was a big turning point in that game too. And it's those type of things, you know. And and to me, it was like even the way, I mean, I see a lot of people talking about, can Scott Turner survive? I see like 2 questions like, Scott Turner be legit? Can he survive? And Scott Turner cooking is could be the OC next year. But my thing is, like, he was there already, just sitting there in your building, and you went outside of it and tried to, you know, get somebody else. And you know, I mean, if Scott Turner is the OC this whole time, I mean, who knows how Aidan O'Connell looks? I mean, to be honest, I mean, I never seen Aidan O'Connell throw the ball downfield like that and run some of those plays and look as good as he looked, right? I mean, it's probably one of his best games he's played, and it's one of those things where like I don't know what these guys are doing, to be honest. So we'll see.
As far as Scott Turner goes, I mean, I think the problem is if you're going to fire the head coach, which again every week it seems like we're getting closer and closer to that point. As much as we've tried to defend AP in the past, like new head coach is probably going to want to bring in their own guy. Like as great as or as good of a job as Scott Turner's done, because the offense has looked better, even though again tonight they only had 17 points, but again left 9 on the board and maybe another 3, maybe even another 3 after that with the last play debacle. Like the problem is if you fire the head coach, you kind of fire the whole staff. Like very rarely do you get a situation where you keep the coordinator. Like with Patrick Graham sticking around last year, it was also because AP was on the staff last year. It wasn't like a complete overhaul of staff, even though they fired the head coach. So that's, I mean, that's the problem with Scott Turner or as far as Scott Turner keeping his job.
It's I don't see Scott Turner keeping his job really either. But I mean, he has been doing a good job though, and you know, and you're right. I mean, they had a chance to have those 9 more points. You could say that they're long field goals or whatever, but to me, that was my point earlier when I said that Daniel Carson's supposed to do that. That's why we pay him for. You know, I'm saying like
for sure.
He should have made at least one of those, right? But because to be honest, I was nervous he wasn't going to make the last one. I thought they was too far out. So I was like, I wanted them to run another play. I did.
Yeah.
I was like, let's get closer here. Let's like, you know, I don't know. But
and that's the other thing with AP's like him talking about them wanting to just play for the field goal there. Like, how can you play for the field goal when your kicker hasn't made one or he's 1 for 4 on the day?
Yeah.
Like, at least give it a shot to score the touchdown. I mean, I know you might not get it, but don't just leave it in your kicker's hand that hasn't been good all day.
Yeah, man. So he accepted the penalty, taking out a field goal. Yeah, I mean, well, it didn't work. So 3rd and 15. 3rd and 15 is just more desperation. You need 15 yards and you're desperate, and then you can take a check down and you get a longer field goal. I don't know.
The other thing with that too is like when you have 2nd and 20, you can set up a play to get like 10 yards. You know what I mean? Or get the extra 5. So you'd still be in the same spot you would have been anyway. Like,
and they got 15, right?
Yeah.
So, what else we got? Let's see. Why did Gardner start over AOC? What was McCormick on the practice squad all year? I
mean, AOC didn't win the job in the preseason and training camp. At the end of the day, he didn't. Like, he played good. He played well today, but like I think everyone talked about it. And when training camp was over, like the Raiders wanted AOC to win the job, and he just didn't. He just didn't play well enough. And I think with McCormick, I mean, part of it was it last year that he was injured, or his first year that he was with the Raiders that he was injured?
I think the first year he was injured.
It was the first year. Gotcha. And I mean, I think just going into the year, he's just kind of an afterthought, and hey, ended up playing well. I don't think anyone expected this from him. It's not like he was standing out in the preseason. So,
yeah, the way AOC is playing is a reasonable role with him next year and draft Travis Hunter. I mean, I say no, but you know, it's I don't know. The more and more I lean on this, the more I like taking that Cam Ward type than. It's just the more I get into it and just I don't know. I just want a big arm. That's my I'm cool with the I just want a big arm. I want a big arm. You know what I mean? Like just give me some wow. You know what I mean? If I would have to watch this draft class, right? because I mean they're not the most exciting draft class in the world. I just give me the big arm guy. That's what I. The more and more I lean into this, the more I do it. But so we kind of answered that question. Didn't they spike it before the last play though? I don't remember the play clock tick down. They clocked it. Why not wait it out
they spiked
there?
it before.
Yeah, because they wanted to run another play. They wanted to get closer.
I thought they were saying that he was trying to run off time. I thought that was what he said in his presser.
Yeah.
That last play.
Yeah. All right. This is Cameron Sanders. That's what I'm saying. Like I lean. I just lean. I'm leaning towards the talent. I am. I'm not. It's the more that I think about it. And I saw this Brett Coleman thing today that just like I don't know if you saw it, but he was talking about like his stats plus 15 yards through the air and throwing outside the numbers, and I was like last in like in college football, a lot of those stats and stuff like that. That's what, because I see that on film, and that's what kind of makes me hesitant about Shedeur Sanders is can he push the ball down the field? You know what I mean? Enough for the Raiders to be explosive, or is he kind of going to be like you know what I mean? He does a great dig route, but Cam Ward can just stretch the field more. So like that's where I'm like, you know what I'm saying? Like I don't know.
And I feel like
maybe it's just all the dicking and dunking I've been seeing for this past year. I want to see that. I want to see the you know what I mean?
I think what it is to me too is like Cam Ward has more of the ability to create. Like he can do more. He has more. He's a better athlete too. Like he can throw from more arms, from more arm angles. Can't talk right now, and then and scramble around and make plays. Whereas I think you don't see that as much, or at least not to the same level with Shedeur. Like you get more of the off script stuff with Cam Ward that kind of gets you a little bit more excited with him.
Yeah. It's just like, can he stretch the field? Can he throw a 15-yard out route or a 15 19-yard corner route in between coverage before it gets there? Can he drive that football there? Those are the things with Sanders. I mean, Sanders is very accurate and he can, do a lot of things in the short passing game and even to the intermediate part of the field. It's just, can he drive that football outside the numbers? Those things, like, can he make consistent NFL throws that you have to make in big time situations and against NFL coverages? That's just gonna be that's what he's got to answer for me. Like, because you're not gonna be able to see that in college. And I think when you take him, you're taking the chance. You're gonna have to find out because they haven't been using him like that in college. So you're gonna have to figure that out. That's the thing. So we'll see. They're asking us, why are we talking about Shedeur? I was just answering questions, man. I'm answering questions. But
I mean, what else do you want to talk about?
Yeah, why did AP decide to kick a 58-yard field goal when he missed a shorter one earlier?
It's not a question. That's the question for AP. That's a good question. I wish I had an answer for you.
I thought they just should whip for it. Like, what's the difference?
Yeah, I mean,
they actually lost 5 yards, right?
Yeah, I was gonna say it would have been a better result, barring a sack or like a pick or whatever. Yeah, it would have been a better result if they just gone for it.
Yeah, man, it was crazy. Do you think TT and TB will lean towards retreads or to be open to looking at up and coming coordinators? I think it's a coach thing. To me, hiring a coordinator is a coach thing. I don't want my GM hiring the coordinator. I'm not a fan of that.
Yeah. And Telesco doesn't have a good track record of hiring coaches as well.
Yeah.
That is one of the marks on him as the GM, as the Chargers coach. We'll end up with Brandon Staley again.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I don't know. I think I answered that one.
I think it will. Yeah.
How would you feel if Aidan plays like this the rest of the season? I think they will be out of the top 5.
Yeah, I think they'll win game. They'll win a couple games if he plays. They'll beat the Jaguars if he plays like that.
He played really well, man. I was watching Prime Vision. Yeah. That throw he made to Brock Bowers, man. That's gonna look really
on the corner out.
Not even that one. The one
right. Oh, the go route, the one hander.
No. It's to say he made 3 great throws to Bowers because he's the last one on the last drive.
Okay,
the anticipation he made on that throw. He's gonna have some pretty damn good tape. He's gonna have some good film this week. I'm gonna say that, right? And that's the thing. They won't be picking high enough. You know, I still think that's what I said. Like somebody like Cam Ward, I don't know if Cam Ward is going to be top 5 or anything like that. You know, I'm still not 100% convinced that Shedeur Sanders could be top 5. You know, if it's not the Giants or if it's not the Raiders, you know, so it's gonna be interesting to see how those quarterbacks end up. But you know, if AOC plays like he did today, because he was pretty damn good today. I was watching on Prime Vision. I was like, all right, man. I mean, there was a couple things he missed. Like I thought he missed on Jacoby Myers a couple times, some throws, and also just missed him on some plays. But in that last drive when they got the balls knocked down, like Jacoby Myers was wide open when he was about to hit him, and he was about to be running. So, it's going to be interesting to see if he plays like for the rest of the year. But if he does, then man, it's gonna be crazy.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, they win a couple more games if he keeps playing like this. If he keeps playing the way he did today, for sure. And like you said, that'll take him out of the quarterback sweepstakes, or could take him out of the top 2 we've been talking about.
Yeah, I don't know. Do you think Sanders will snub either NY team in the draft? Not the Giants. I think he likes the Giants.
Yeah. What do we check? Can we get a thank you God update? Did he tweet it after today to confirm it?
I don't think so. I don't know. I think he wants to. I think he likes the Giants. They like the organization. You know, they like New York. They like the spotlight. It's New
I was gonna
York.
say, yeah. I feel like he'd like to play in New York. He's like one of the guys who would like to play in New York, just kind of with his mentality, his personality, and his ego as well. He'd love to play in the limelight.
Yeah.
I feel like if it was like a smaller market team, he might pull the old Eli move and try and force his way out of it. But a big market team like the Giants or the Jets, I think he'd want to play for.
Yeah, man. But I think he would, if they had a pick, he'd probably rather do the Giants. So that's what.
More function. I mean, more semi-functional, I guess.
I mean, they won Super Bowls more recently, I guess.
True.
Yeah, man. I guess some people didn't you know, like Aidan O'Connell's performance. I mean, he threw for 340 yards, man. I mean, he had a pretty no. If you thought Aidan O'Connell was gonna throw 340 yards this game, I mean, you definitely, if you did that bet, you had a 300+ yard bet, show yourself. That's all I gotta say.
So the ticket, we need to see the ticket.
And as I said, if you could be like, oh, he made it like 3 throws. I mean, that's, you know what I'm saying? Like he was like 5 or 6 on deep passes today. Like he had a pretty damn good game. Like I don't know what you guys. I know it's just not something that, you know, you want to be happy with, but that's something you want to see. But it is what it is. I mean, he did play pretty well, and especially what Scott Turner was doing, because they were play action like crazy. I feel like every single throw he made was a play action pass. Like the Browers touchdown was a play action pass. I think the Trey Tucker one was play action. I'm not sure. I think that was play action too. I feel like every single throw is play action. So, you know, he's good. I mean, he's a better play caller. He's going to look better. I'm not saying that they should not draft a quarterback, but
he did play well. Yeah,
he did play well. I mean,
give some credit, man.
We got to give him credit. He missed 3 field goals. You know what I mean? Like, you played well, man. You had a good game. Yeah, I mean, it's just, as I'm saying, like they can't play any better than this, right? And then just, you know, there's just stupid things. 3 missed field goals. That's why they're just a bad team. They don't even have to tank. To me, it's not even about tanking anymore. Like they're just bad. So like who like the tank is on. Like no, they are a bad team.
They're trying to win. They just can't.
They are a bad team, and they just keep losing. And that's what we could talk about tanking. Like bad teams have the ball with 18 seconds left and snap it off the QB's chest. That's what bad teams do. Good teams don't do that. You know what I'm saying? Like it's one of those things. So it's like, you know, I mean, they're gonna have a chance to. We'll see, but I mean, if they play like this in offense, they're gonna have some games where they are gonna be in more of the games, especially if they play like this defense. I thought they played pretty well on defense too. They're just timely, and I thought they had a good game plan. But you know, you're not gonna play Wanya Morris every single week, though. So, all right, let's get one more questions here. Aaron Glenn, who do you think could be in TB favor? I don't know. I do think that AP's gonna get fired, but I don't know who they're gonna hire. I don't know.
Yeah. I think on the question of like the retreads, I do think if Brady has some influence, I do think he'd probably want to go after a guy like that. He knows like a Flores or like a Mike Vrabel, like and pick up a guy like that on the retreads. Those are the two guys that like just stick out the most in my mind. Like I don't know who else he has connections to that he would consider. I mean, maybe he just kind of goes into it more like a objective view, but I feel like if we're going off of Brady having influence, those would be the two guys that I think that first come to mind that he'd be pushing for,
Yeah,
especially
yeah,
Vrabel because he played with him.
that's good. Is Glaze regressing? That's a good question.
I mean, Chris Jones is a damn good player, so I'm not gonna knock him on that too much, but it does feel like the issues we saw in when he was drafted are starting to rear their heads more, where his feet are just not good, and that was part of the reason why I thought he'd be a better guard than tackle, and I mean that's kind of been the problem the last 2 weeks is his feet get stuck in cement when he has to really drop back on those longer pass plays.
Yeah, for sure. Somebody asked us about Jalen Moreau. Thoughts on Jalen Moreau after the Alabama game?
This last one.
Did they play Auburn already?
Yeah, I don't know. They play the Iron Bowl. I think the Iron Bowl is tomorrow. This is
Yeah.
the last Alabama game. Your thoughts on that? I mean, stay away.
Yeah. See, he's a tricky guy. He's tricky just because, like, he's just so explosive with the ball in his hand, and I think that he has the ability to develop into a passer. Like, you could see it. He's a quick release. He handles the pocket pretty well. He's not scared to check the ball down or anything. Like, he's not like a force the ball downfield type of guy. It's just more like with him, I don't know, him being consistent throwing the ball. Like, one game he's hitting everything, the next game he's not hitting everything. Like, I'm not comparing him to like Lamar Jackson, but like as a passer, like I feel like him and Lamar Jackson are kind of similar coming out of college as a passer. Where like just like feet wise and things like that. But of course, Lamar's just like way better talented of a passer altogether. But like the feet and stuff like that, it's similar there. So it's because I don't know. Lamar's just different, and I don't like comparing anybody to Lamar Jackson because he's just a totally different type of. Even in college, is totally different type of guy. But it's just the similarities in like what you have to build in the player. I guess is what I'm saying.
Yeah, for me with Milrow, like I would like him better if like, and I don't know if he'll be there at that point. Like if they got him in like the second round and maybe he went with the best player available pros and got like a Travis Hunter or something like that with the top 5 pick, and assuming the Raiders are still picking in the top 5 when it comes to the draft. Like if they could get Milrow in the second, I'd be more comfortable with it. But I know someone brought this up, and it would be interesting to me because you bring up Lamar Jackson. I'm like, if they wanted to hire someone like Todd Monken as head coach, bring in Jalen Milrow, who obviously Monken has an offense that could fit that guy's skill set a little bit. That'd be kind of intriguing. But again, the game to game consistency, especially on the short to intermediate throws with him, is going to be the biggest question mark.
Yeah. Flores and what OC would you want? I mean, he had Chan Gailey last time. To be honest, like it's hard.
Yeah, couldn't tell you.
I don't know. He would hire as his OC. We'll see. That'd be interesting. Maybe, hopefully, be somebody from the Vikings. Maybe Vikings quarterback coach or something.
Maybe.
What happened to Parham? Is he still hurt? Seems like he's getting blown up in pass, bro. I mean, yeah, because he started the season off really, really well, and then he's kind of fallen off a little bit. Yeah. All right. I think we're kind of get out of here, guys. I appreciate you guys coming in here and joining us in the chat. The Raiders are 2-10. So yeah, we are close to this conversation. We're having this conversation for a while. Like, should they take a quarterback? Should they take Travis Hunter? You know what I'm saying? If Abdul Carter runs a 4.4 at the combine, should they take Abdul Carter? It's gonna be fun that part of the season, but we're not there yet. And we'll see how Aidan O'Connell, if he keeps improving. I mean, this has a big confidence boost for him, especially with him and the team. You know what I mean? And Devontae Adams probably just looking at everybody like, I told you.
Very true.
Devontae Adams watching this game at home, just like, I try to tell him. Yeah, man. All right, guys. We're out of here. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Peace.
Peace.